Kenneth,
Hello.
yeah.
Don't mind me
Hey,
running late.
open the People's tab and teleport to Marcus.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, guys, see you upstairs.
I mean, I guess we should. Oh, hi, Ken.
Hello.
Yeah,
Sorry, didn't mean to land on your head.
still got
Yes, you
like
did.
some.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, well.
I still got Bogus down there and Twa Hinkle, but I can't get them up here.
We didn't announce that we were moving the meeting.
Oh well, I mean it's kind of. I feel kind of comfortable up here, so I thought it would be
It's
nice.
like slash start might be a good.
Yeah, I
Well, I
don't
mean, in
have the.
terms of the maker meeting, this is what I made. So.
Slash start is
Wow.
pretty big for myself.
I mean, some of it at least. Maybe all of it.
Who's responsible for the fire?
That would be
Silverfish.
Satan.
Bazinski
Why
made
would
the
you call
fire.
Silverfish Satan? He's not Satan. He's more like a demon.
He's the light bringer, but I'm not sure if he's responsible for the fire actually.
Well, he's not a very happy dude with what the bird eating out his liver every day.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's not Satan.
No, that's Prometheus.
Yeah.
But could it be Satan?
Chopping broccoli.
I don't know how much you guys watch Saturday Night Live over there.
Dana Carvey rocks.
Once upon a time, that was a huge meme kind of thing. The church lady.
Never seen it actually.
Yeah, I think that's very much a U.S. thing. It was Dana Carvey used to do a character called the church lady.
I've not seen much of anything of Dana Carvey either. I've seen
No, I mean,
I've seen a review of The Master of Disguise, and that was horrible enough that I didn't really want to
Yeah, that was
watch
just a
that.
terrible, terrible mistake of a movie, I think. But,
yeah, and the poor guy hasn't. I mean, in terms of acting, at least, he's had horrible health problems most of his life. So it's not like he could go back and like make better movies because he's just not physically capable.
Hmm.
Hey, Franny.
Hattie Fran.
Hey, you hear
I heard something.
me? Okay. Yeah, I made myself louder.
You need to get some flow on your hair, Franny.
I have flow, but uh, I have flow, but it's I don't. I figured I wouldn't put it on, so it'll keep things better.
Oh, okay. Hear that, Kalila? You're ruining the experience for everybody with your flowing hair.
Do you want me to whack my hair in your face? I'll do it. Yeah.
That sounded
Gosh.
perverted.
That really is not perverted. Unless there's like such things as hair.
Lies. All perversion from Hertz.
No.
Yes.
It says you. Gosh. Look at your pink glasses.
Also,
Salute.
Bogus is still over there.
He's gonna be like, they canceled the meeting on me. They don't like me.
I'm giving it like I'll try to get him back here.
I don't even know who that is. That a new person?
We don't get new people.
Well, there's Gary at Bogus. New. Wait, someone's
Well,
back
and we
on
also get
mic.
like old Alphas back that I never met.
Yes.
So.
Mm-hmm. I don't recognize Gary at all, but we did get old alphas back. Hi, Silverfish. You missed a great salon. Really one
I'm
of the
so
top
kicking
salons
myself.
last night.
Damn, so sorry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, me
sleeping.
too,
I fell asleep.
unfortunately.
I can imagine though. I mean, it's tough for you to stay up. I mean, I don't know if I would do it.
But I have to agree, it was a great salon. I thought it was. I
Yeah.
mean, both for the topic at hand and, of course, the inevitable wandering off of the topic. I thought it was a
Yes.
pretty rich conversation.
Yep.
God damn it.
I've already started working on next week, and it has to do with sex, philosophy, and sex.
Sexing up your
The answer
philosophers.
is
Oh yeah.
philosophers don't have sex.
Yeah, well, that's kind of. I don't know. There's a woman who teaches a whole. Her name is Proust. Too.
Oh my
But she
goodness.
teaches. I know she teaches a whole thing about philosophy and sex. So.
As long as she doesn't talk like a Dr. Rooster Westheimer.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Do you masturbate?
Oh, God. It's good for you. No, and the only thing close to like the only like philosophic thing I can think of when I think of sex is like maybe Voltaire. You know, with my
And
broad
why
philosophical
not?
education.
Who wouldn't read Voltaire? Full break to the silverfish.
Oh.
My understanding is Voltaire was a very randy man.
Oh, cool.
There's somebody has a sign out. I saw that on Twitter. Somebody has a sign out on their lawn that says, "God bows down to Donald Trump."
Well,
Yeah.
well, I just have nothing to say to that.
I know, really, there is no response.
Well,
Probably
you
good
know, I
coffee.
think John Lennon died over a statement like that.
Oh,
Wasn't that
they're
guy
just
pissed
saying
off that he...
they're just trying to get the liberals by saying stuff like that.
Actually, it's
Yeah.
from a liberal point of view, it sounds like a joke thing. I mean,
Yeah, it might be a joke. Did you
I
hear
mean,
what
it's like I don't even know whether to take it seriously or not. It's like I have no idea.
Did you hear what Buttigieg said to Rush Limbaugh? Limbaugh made a statement that like Buttigieg won't be able to campaign because he'll be too busy kissing his husband, and Buttigieg said, you know, I've been in a stable, loving relationship for over 2 decades. I love my husband. We're very happily married. Can you say that, or any of the people like Donald Trump that you work with?
Limbo totally can't.
Yeah, no. He knows what to say, Buttigieg. He's very smart. You can't get him.
He is. I still haven't decided. You know, I
I
like.
didn't realise this was a politics meeting.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
it's not.
sorry.
It's not. We should shut up. Yes, because yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll stop right now.
I forgot. It's like I just forgot we were in a meeting.
Yeah, you gotta behave. Gosh darn it.
All right, so I'm gonna shut up and let Khalil take over.
Wait, what?
Maker.
Homie,
Here we
I'm going behind
Maker.
you.
It's maker
Alright.
time. It's maker time.
Yes.
Does anyone have anything they want to show off though? I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going around, guys. Realsies. Like
Well,
shrine
I think the
silverfish
reason
for one.
we held it here, yeah.
Hmm?
The reason we held here is because to look at the build here.
Mhm. But there's a lot of things people made. Like they added to it. Like I see your tea set over there. And
Yes.
And
I
thank
saw a
you for adding
pillow.
the tea set.
Whose pillow is this?
I made that one.
What is it?
Well, it's a pillow.
It's a pillow. Okay.
That
Hey,
there,
hey.
that there is definitely a pillow. I would
What
Yeah,
does it
thank
do?
you. Thank you for informing me. God, I didn't know.
Without a doubt, that's the pillowiest pillow. Oh, look it! I can move it.
No, like what's on it? What am I looking at?
Oh, it's
I don't
Marcus.
under-
It's
Marcus?
Marcus. No, it's a pillow.
Can't you see that?
Marcus, you've
No, I just took a
you
random.
really-
Oh,
I
it
just
is
made a
me.
screenshot.
I didn't
Oh,
even
that's
realize.
so funny. Oh,
This is
look.
That is great.
Yeah,
Like, how do you look at
Um,
this to make it a Marcus?
What the heck?
Well, he
Can
took
you
a
just-
screenshot because the bloom was kind of heavy in here. And the
Yes.
white robot is a great indicator of that.
But like, I don't understand. This doesn't look
I
like
know,
Marcus.
it just must have been just what was handy.
I
I make
did
a
make
great
another,
pillow.
another,
Somebody put
another
their ass
pillow
on my
though.
face.
Oh, I see him now. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, you have to
Oh my
look at
gosh.
it dead on one of the.
Yeah. I was seeing a mustache. I
Ooh,
was seeing a penguin,
woody
but I wasn't
pillow.
seeing Marcus.
I also made a
Oh
woody pillow.
Silverfish.
That
Oh,
is
nice.
awesome.
Silverfish. This is
That
messed up.
is.
This is.
It's a full body pillow. You should
Yes,
cuddle
it's
with
a
your knee at
woody
night.
body pillow.
If you turn it
I
around,
love
is it like
that.
nude or something?
No, it's always nude.
A wood is always new. You should have made a low poly one. A low
This is
poly
messed up
pillow.
in the best way possible.
Yeah, I was experimenting with those new. Blender has a new feature that can inflate a mesh, and that's what I've been
Are
experimenting
you
with.
kidding? You did that already? It just was released.
How do I get a mahogany version?
Yeah. So where's Tim? By the way, is Tim okay?
I haven't seen Tim in a while.
That's what I'm saying.
Tossing pillows is bad. I have to wash it. Oh.
No, that the pillows are awesome, and the woody pillow just makes my day. I love that.
Yeah, but ideally it's because when you do
No, we know what's
physics
going on in
stuff,
your head.
then you have to like the
You don't
Marcus
want to
pillow
go. You
is,
don't
is
want to go on that head.
yeah, the Marcus
that's
pillow
fine.
is seriously high poly. That's not really usable. That one is bad, but not that bad. But I'm guessing ideally you would want to make the thing and then bake the normals to a low poly mesh, because even that one is like 4K or something. So I don't
I'm just gonna take my pillow and go.
know. You're pillow surfing. That's a
A
thing
little
now.
bit. Yeah, isn't that awesome? I gotta fix a link here. Give me a sec.
Are they flammable?
About to find out.
You're gonna see.
Who are you gonna
I
set
have
on fire?
1 HFC balance.
What do you guys think of the coffee table?
I think it's freaking awesome. It's so modern,
It's great.
Yes.
and it's like
Yeah,
nice
I like
colors
it.
and everything.
I like the
Vegas.
floor.
Vegas Lawn made that today. He brought that in today.
What?
Awesome, Vegas. You did the couch and you do the coffee
Yeah,
table.
looks cool.
Freaking awesome.
Vegas is a supreme texturer.
Wait, did you texture that?
What no, I didn't make the couch. I
No, no,
said
no.
the coffee table.
Did
Yes, I
you
textured
texture it?
that.
It's pretty sexy. I like it.
Get warm.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping more people will, if you've got neat furniture or knickknacks or plants or I don't know, whatever,
Yeah.
posters, pictures, bring them in. And then we can,
All right, I'll bring in the army girls. Give me a bit though.
That's what we need. We need a moose head. Someone
Hey,
make
hey, silverfish, silverfish, silver.
What?
The body pillow. Can I
What
can I
about
put a
it?
different picture on it? Like if I copied it, could I put a picture on there?
Of course you can.
I got some ideas.
I know what it's going to be.
Oh
Thank you,
dear.
Tom.
Yes, I do.
This is not. That's.
Oh my
But
goodness.
why would you? I mean,
Assume the worst. You'll like
that's
it.
Yeah,
hot,
why-
right? That's hot.
What's wrong with Woody?
Oh yeah,
I
I know
do
what you
use-
do with it at night.
I do.
He looks all naughty and everything.
Yeah, sexy
No, it's
pose
not
and all.
naughty.
I
It's
know, right? I look
extremely
really sexy.
innocent. It's
Look at his
innocent.
backside.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
look
a
at that
woody.
booty. Look at that booty.
It's not
With
good.
swiggity swooty, I'm coming for that woody booty.
Oh, mercy.
Sometimes love means
Yeah.
splinters.
Oh,
What the hell that meant.
So as for the building itself, I'd welcome opinions on anything really. You think a texture is looks weird, or it's too dark or too light, or you
Did
think
you
one of
fix
the rooms should be
that,
bigger or smaller?
Yeah, I like the marble thing better than the asphalt.
Thank you. Yes, yes, I do too. I don't know. I thought nobody would notice if I used asphalt, but it turns out people totally noticed. So
This looks nice. So where do people land when they come in the center?
I think the center is intended to be the landing point. The reference for all of this is over. Um,
Yeah, the one that David made, right?
yeah, yeah, and that's what this is based on. This is basically like the fancy version.
It's very
And at some
pretty.
point in the near future, I will start modeling a basic layout for the sandbox as well, which will also need decoration. And we need to start thinking about. I mean, this place, this part's kind of the easy part, right? Furniture, pictures, all that fun stuff. But we also need stuff for the other sections too. The probably the most challenging section to do, I'm thinking, is the information section. That's going to take some coordination for style and whatnot, for signs and things like that. I would welcome help with that, definitely.
Well, I'm happy to assist however I can. Plan to spend a little more time poking around in here and helping out.
Awesome. Also, for people who have shaders enabled, there's some glass panes along a couple of the walls, and there's a shader on those with water condensing and running down them. Water droplets.
Awesome.
You know what? I'm having second thoughts about that though, because shaders aren't on by default, and there's no fallback. So
Yeah, I think we
Something
lost
went
your
wrong
audio
with
there,
sound.
Marcus.
I think I switched your mic, maybe.
That or you fell into the deep end of a pool.
Did you swallow your mic?
Gulp.
you guys sound okay now?
Still a little watery, but a little better.
It might be bandwidth issues.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And I think Vegas, fireplace.
That is no good.
I still, I don't know what to do.
The snatches of good sound coming through occasionally.
You know the drill. Turn it off, turn it on again.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Marcus? Or he's gone?
Yeah, I think he took off there for a second. Trying again.
Nervous for him.
Be right back, guys.
Okay.
Coffee's done.
He does.
Mine's not. I think it's descaling time.
Do I sound better now?
Much better,
I mean, you
Marcus.
sound a little bit better.
You don't sound like you're drowning. That's good.
Well, that's good. So the other thing I was saying is that I've got those shaders on that glass, and I'm thinking about not doing that. I mean, it's a cool effect, but since shaders aren't on by default, and there's
But why not? I mean, it's just an effect. It's not critical, so why not have it?
well, because there's no fallback.
Why
Yeah, but
don't we have a fallback though? I don't understand why it's not possible just to simply do that.
Let's see, what
You
does
know.
it look like without the shader enabled?
and why don't we just enable them by default anyway?
There's still a few little problems with the shaders. We've
Yeah,
had situations
performance.
where, well, it's not so much perform. Like this is a pretty light
It's more like
shader.
bugs, honestly. Where, like, for example, it may like set the whole entire model, this whole entire world might turn into the shader of a small object. So that would be problematic.
Oh, they
Yeah.
just disappear. Yeah, I guess there's
Yeah.
no harm. It looks fine if they just
For,
disappear.
for something like that, it's no problem. But like if the couch and the coffee table had custom shaders on them and they disappear if you don't have them enabled, then it may be a problem. If you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, then I'll keep the water shader then.
Yeah.
But we totally need a material fallback. I really think that
It
that
should
should be a
fall
thing.
back to like the next highest priority in material.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Or
that should be a
yeah.
thing. Like, why not?
Does anybody know how much?
Require protocol change, I'm guessing?
I don't
Who's got
know
the crisps?
why that.
I don't. You know what? I don't think it required one to add shaders. I think that was a post '86 thing.
Yeah, but if there's not a shader, what's the texture set to? Does it still have a texture as such?
No, it disappears.
Well, it disappears visibly, but
Completely.
the question is whether the material data is still available.
Hmm.
I guess that would be a Sam question, and see if we can't just. I don't know if we can do it ourselves though. If it's big code change, I don't know.
Well, I wonder if all it would take is, I mean, because right now to do shaders and meshes, we use the material entities, and it would be. I wonder if it's as simple as, if not enabled, unparent the material entity.
Just go through.
Does anybody know which is worse for a given effect, a shader compared to like particles? Because I was thinking of doing something like the water drip thing, but
I
with
think it's kind of
particles.
apples. It's kind of apples and oranges. I mean, the particles we have now, it's more a case of what kind of materials you're applying to it. Their size and whatnot, and how many particles you're generating, and how much math you're doing to do something fancy with the particles.
Right, but
Shaders,
the shaders,
like
it's
this.
the whole area.
Shaders, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing like ray marching, can be a bit expensive if you don't watch out. Trying to like actually, a lot of shaders out there do things like they actually ray trace. Um,
Yeah.
you don't want shaders doing that. That's obviously hugely computationally intensive. Um, this one, like the water shader I have, the droplet shader, raindrops. I don't know what you want to call it. water droplets. It's a very light shader. It really does very little other than draw uh, draw 2D stuff. I mean, it's very light.
Can you adjust the number of drops or the placement of them or anything with it?
I can. I mean, basically all I do is scale the UV or the texture space.
Where did you get it, or did you write it yourself?
I did not write it myself. I adapted it from a shader I found on Shader Toy.
By the way, can we measure the impact of a shader in the code? Like,
as far as I know, there is currently no tool to do that.
Probably worth looking into.
I mean, one way that could be useful too is that if your computer determines the shader is too heavy, you could always have it automatically disable it.
Yeah, I wonder if just looking at GPU per pixel or GPU timing, you get from the same point of view and then enable and disable the, put the shader in and take it away and see what the difference would be.
It would also prevent griefing with shaders, hopefully, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
Anywho,
requires some sort of fallback, right?
Oh yeah, I think in any case, you'd want to.
In order for the option to not have them enabled to be usable at all, then you need proper fallback. Sort of like how VR chat does it, where you can select whether you want to see the custom shaders or not.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And if not, you get a default one.
Yeah, I mean, these windows actually have a default text. It's just that right now, if you enable shaders, or if you apply a shader to it with a material entity, they simply disappear, which shouldn't happen. Yeah, it feels like it could be as simple as a conditional statement where, whether or not to honor the parent-child relationship. So I really have nothing else to add to the meeting. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to show or talk about, or...
What would this look like if the walls, say, were a lighter colour?
I've thought about that. I do I've been wondering if they're too dark myself, and that's why I've been soliciting opinions. I like the dark wood floor and ceiling, but I could find a different texture for the walls.
Let's try it out.
I mean, there is a lot of dark here.
Yeah. I wonder if lighter walls would make it feel a bit more eerie or something.
And I was kind of thinking, like, maybe I was kind of thinking that maybe the content would contrast with it enough to make a difference too. I mean, part of the reason I love this couch when Vegasland brought it in was the fact that it just pops compared to the wood.
Yep, it's certainly vibrant.
You try different texture in the different rooms.
This is true too. Yeah, because right now they are very much clones of each other. They are literally clones of each other.
Yeah, probably would be good to kind of thematically separate them.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing where if, like, you're working, like, let's say you want to work in the info area and like, oh, this cubby's in my way, let me know. I can remove cubbies or shift cubbies or open up a wall or whatever you need. I can make the areas bigger. I just need to know.
Well, I was thinking of the different colours in the different rooms just for trying them out to see how they look.
Oh, sure, we could do that too. Yeah, compare and contrast.
How about some sort of nice looking lighting effect in here?
There does need to be more lighting. There's dummy lights in the ceiling, but like as I just said, they're dummy. I mean, they don't actually cast light. There's
So,
only one spotlight here, and it's over the couch.
some of Kenneth's art, maybe.
I would absolutely
Maybe.
like
Okay. Well, I guess I've got it. It's not, taking up space anywhere else at the
But the
moment.
fireplace looks like a logical place for some sort of nice effect.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to retexture some of my art before I bring it in. Because I remember the gallery was pretty heavy.
I'd also like to use. I think this would be a good area to use. Just all over the place in general, for events. I think that people should feel free to stick up a poster somewhere. Like, I'm having a party. I'm gonna stick up a poster.
Yeah, we should really have just a spot for such things, like a bulletin board kind of, almost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Events.
There are some spaces in the walls between the sections.
Oh, yeah.
Some gaps
This is
there.
true.
Useful.
I have an idea for another event if somebody wants to hold it.
What's that?
To do Mad Libs. Did you ever play Mad Libs?
Oh, that'd be some fun,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I need a
Yeah,
swear word and
Yeah. And
a
two
sexual
adjectives.
position.
Coffee. The best thing in the world.
We also need scripts for the landing area to distribute people so that they don't land inside each other.
Yes, I know Flame Solis had made a spawn script that keeps people from piling on top of each other. I can't remember. I could have sworn he had a GitHub. I'd have to look for it. And if not, then we'll need somebody scripty to make that.
I imagine it's just kind of casts you at a random location within a sphere kind of thing.
Probably something like that, or within a radius. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to toy with. Yeah, I have no problem making stuff. It's coming up with the ideas for what to make. That's always, But that'll give me something to toy with.
And the sandbox. The idea was to have sort of like a auto resetting kind of thing.
That's also going to need scripts. It's probably going to have a dedicated zone that handles that kind of stuff.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
Thanks, David.
Found the spawn spacer. Yay. Could you put that in the content channel on Discord too?
Sure. Note it doesn't. File doesn't over here.
Yay, thank you.
The other tricky thing, scripty type-wise, would be the sandbox. Clearing it, limiting the filter to edit, limit edits to be within the dimensions of the sandbox, etc.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. If we're going to manage a domain, we don't want people. I mean, it's just going to be a pain in the butt if people, wander off 8 kilometers and start resin clubs and stuff. It could stay there for ages, and we'll have no idea where the hell it is.
All these things and willy-nilly sort of thing. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, the welcome domain should be very performant, but also pretty, like the perfect balance of that. So it kind of like sets the tone of what's possible.
Content needs to be managed. Yeah.
So I guess we could isolate it on its own droplet and then have a bunch of teleports and ways to get around.
Well, there is a sandbox quarter here sketched out, and the idea of having a sandbox area here was to bring in the social aspect of this is some of the cool stuff you can have fun with in High Fidelity. Project Athena.
I don't know. Is it possible? Is it technically possible to have like just that quarter be
You
sandbox
can run
like the rest be locked?
Yeah, you can run filters. As I understand it, you can run filters on the domain server to accept or reject edits via scripts.
Okay, I have a link. This should work. So if you guys want, there's a little app. Damn it, okay. There's an app, this always happens in a way, that you should put in your running scripts and just run it. Basically, what it is an, I guess more application. So it allows us to lift community scripts to the forefront. They can be updated independently of releases, and then also they don't touch the code base, so there's no concerns about the actual code being like, oh, it's not perfect, so you can't accept it. So yeah, there's none of that. It's separate, but also a way to link it together. So everyone's client will have a way to access our community apps repo, which is still vetted, of course, but it's a way that people can contribute. So
Awesome.
did you guys see that in the chat?
Yep, got the link here.
Yeah, I've installed it.
Yeah, just run it.
Just run. It's totally not a virus.
Yes. I promise not to steal too much of your money. But so yeah, it was made by Keb Hellion. I do not know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Keb Hellion, I think is his name. He wanted to make something for that, and so he did. And I suppose he just can't be here at the moment, but I decided I'll just show it off on his behalf. Yeah, he wanted to donate that.
That's very nice.
It's pretty much exactly what we kind of need right now for that sector of things. You can install, uninstall. I do not know about updating, but I'm sure that could be put in a later time. But it's a start, I think.
Should add the avatar recorder app in there.
Oh yeah, in your radar app.
It's not gonna work for me.
And then I can put cause and star in there and all kinds of things. I mean, I forked the repo. I was gonna show, like, I have GitHub pages is just horrible. So once I get GitHub, or once I get that working, then I can, yeah. It's a tough life. Yeah. It's a start.
Yeah. God damn it.
Okay.
clicked the link in VR. I shouldn't do that because then it opened a browser window
Yeah,
right
that was
in my
something you
face,
complained about.
Oh
VR,
dear.
I have no way to close it again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bug. It's supposed to run the app, but
It did ask me if I wanted to run the app, and I said yes, but it also created a web window, and I really have no way of closing that one
damn it.
without going out of VR. Crap.
That's a bit of a bug.
There should be a what you call it, a name tag script in there.
Yeah.
I don't know which one, but
Yeah, I mean
Well,
this kind of feels like a replacement for Fox Essentials to a degree.
yes.
Yeah, but it loads from GitHub. So basically, when you want to add an app or make an update or make a change, you edit a file on GitHub, and you PR into that repo. So it's a lot more transparent and usable in that way. You know, I can work on UI and make it all pretty like functional, but at its core, I think it does a pretty good job of supplying what we need. As for name tags, though, gosh, we need to ship some sort of default name tag and then have a toggle for that. Like,
Yeah, I agree
gone
with
are
that.
the days of having to like oh, pick a name tag script, like as if that's like like if everyone needs to do it, then it should just be there.
Well, there should definitely be a default one. I mean, even if you don't like it, I mean, it's useful, and you can
Yeah,
always
and then you can just
switch
disable
to a
it.
different one. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a default script, honestly. So if anyone has suggestions on which one might be a good qualifier for that, I should open an issue. Oh boy, give me a sec.
Also, does anybody know how I've been using the Beacon app? Um, how do I get my domain a beacon?
So the app itself, you have to turn it on. I think on the top there should be like a enable thing.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
When you're in your domain and that beacon's on, it transmits a signal over to the others.
I get that. I totally get that. But it looks to me like we're also using objects as a beacon.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about.
Yeah, wish I could help. I don't know how it works.
Maybe
Do we know
you
of
could.
a domain that's doing it? Because we know of
Well,
domains
there's
that
at
can
least
track down
2
an
of them
object.
here in the palace, so I'm sure I could find one and examine it.
If you have to, you could do a radius search for like a certain name and just hope you get it in terms of script URLs. Similar to 4 existing issues.
So at this point, I'm thinking like the meeting feels like it's lost some steam. I don't know if Ken is recording or not.
I am, but yeah, we're a bit quiet.
Really?
Yeah, I think
They're
we should just
recording?
call the meeting done and maybe just hang out. And
Sounds
talk
good.
Or whatever.
Sure.
Killing the stream. We can talk freely.
Yeah.
Thank
Wave
you, Ken.
goodbye, everybody.
Not as
The
if we
thing with
didn't say
these
all the bad
meetings, with
stuff
the maker
already.
meetings,
Right.
really, it's we don't really have people aren't really have a lot to show content wise, sadly.
Well,
We
and
should
plus
shorten
we
it to
tend to
30
show
minutes.
stuff as soon as we make it. I mean, it's like it's like, hey,
Yeah.
look at this neat thing I made, and
And the
Like,
emphasis isn't on content creating right now anyway. So,
this is true. This is true. We've been so busy with the project.
Exactly, yeah.
Plus, we're a lot closer together, honestly. Before, when the maker meetings were established, everything was, corporate high
Random
fidelity
people. Yeah.
centered everywhere. So,
Well, I mean, there's a new person here, so that would have been something. I mean,
Hello,
to be
neighbors.
honest, he had a bit of a problem coming here, so there was that.
Navigation. Yeah.
it's
I mean,
never been easy to get to be here.
it's like I
Yes.
don't have a way to teleport him. So
That's
there's
why.
that.
That's why I
Where,
think a portal drop, right? Because it's visual, and then all they have to do is walk forward. Everyone knows how to do that, at least.
you're
Press
thinking
W,
VR chat, right?
walk. Yes.
I'm thinking SL right click on name teleport.
Yeah.
That's not. That's good, but we already have that.
Do we?
If you're talking
Oh.
about right, yes, because
Not
people.
between domains, we don't.
Well, you do actually. Yeah.
No,
you just,
well, we can't.
connection.
There's a
sorry.
difference between teleport to somebody and invite somebody to teleport to you.
Exactly.